Hello and welcome to another review. My name is Daniel Gibson. Today we are talking about Insurgent, the second movie in the Divergent franchise. And this movie kind of picks up right where the last one left off. If you don't know about this world, it follows five factions, five distinct people groups in the society, and each of them serves a different role and a different plan in this world that we're placed into. And then in between those five factions, there's these things called Divergent. They're actually individuals, people who have elements of all the factions in them. And so what basically a populace, a section of these people are very adamant about, and the rest of them believe, is that Divergents are dangerous to society, that they will undermine the framework that holds them together. So that's really the basis of this movie. And the last movie is that they're hunting down Divergents, trying to prevent the destruction of their society. And so from there, we see the movie, and as far as my thoughts on the movie, I thought it was good. I think it's one of those movies you leave from and you don't really have a lot to say about it. In fact, me and my wife usually have a lot of conversations in the car on the way home, but the fact was, there wasn't a lot to talk about. The movie kind of just is what it is. There's not a lot of deeper levels to this movie. It's pretty flat. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but I think some movies you can grasp a little bit more. I feel like this one's just kind of is what it is. There is some undertones. There's obviously symbolism in this movie, things they're pushing towards. They did some good jobs with foreshadowing things in the movie, things to get you ready for the end. It was a good carry-on from the first one. But what I would say is it's just not overly exciting. You get pulled into the parts we need to get pulled into. The characters are borderline interesting enough to hold you. They have some, but they're kind of paper thin. A lot of them, you know them, but you really don't grab onto them. There's not a lot that they do to compel you. The dialogue is choppy at times. I feel like it kind of, I think it's not necessarily on the actors' parts. I think somewhat in the writing. I think they just did a good job, as I said, of building these characters. I feel like some of the dialogue is rushed and just not properly thought out and properly given to us. But don't think I'm just bashing this movie. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a good movie. I just think in the world of these movies we've seen like this, I don't think it's as high as what we've seen. The movie definitely had its dark tones too. Hunger Games obviously deals with a lot of issues below the surface, and so a lot of these other ones have kind of dark tones. But this one dealt with like murder and hunting people down and all these things a lot more than the other ones. There's executions and stuff in this movie. I mean, it's not it's not Maze Runner, all these other ones where stuff is implied. I mean, it's right there. Now, you don't see the blood, you don't see the shots, it's rated PG-13, but it's still there. So it's definitely kind of a darker version of the Hunger Games. As I was kind of thinking about on my way home, how to characterize this movie, and I'd say it's kind of like Hunger Games meets The Giver. Now, if you didn't see The Giver, it came out last year on movie. It's been a book, very popular book. You probably read it in school. Really enjoyed the movie. I recommend it highly. I thought it was really good. But anyways, that's kind of what I see from this too, is it's just dark at times. And I feel like this one doesn't have what both those had, which was good characters. And there are good characters, just not as good, not as great of a character that you get pulled into. On the parental guide side, like I said, it's a little bit violent. Their sexual content is not all over the place. It's not the focus of the movie, but it's definitely prevalent. I'd say actually, though, in a lot of ways, for me personally, the romantic parts for this movie now, they felt awkward. I think this couple's kind of awkward when they're in that stage. But yeah, it was kind of awkward, but it's nothing over the top. You don't see anything. There's no nudity. The scenes don't last long. It's not like that's necessarily a bad thing. It's not. That's not the bad thing in this movie. Cursing is there. Like I said, all those things. And so, parental guidance, iffy. I don't know if I highly recommend this movie, but I'd say it's worth seeing. If you like the first Divergent movie, you're probably gonna like Insurgent. It gets a 6.5 on my scale. I think it was good. I just think it could have been better. It could have been a 7, but it wasn't because it fell flat in quite a few places. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not beating this movie up. I'm just letting you know that it's not the greatest thing on earth. It's not that next level movie. But let me know in the comments down below. If you've seen this movie, do you agree with me? Is this something you've watched and you think to yourself, just didn't have that flair? Not that's bad, not that's horrible. It just doesn't have that grip, that thing that grabs you. Let me know in the comments down below. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. And I thank you all so much for watching my videos and supporting me. And I'll see you guys next video. God bless.